family, story time. Reminiscing as I'm driving, thinking about growing up in Zimbabwe, because I am enjoying this 86-degree spring weather. And out here in the Midwest, it reminds me when it's about spring and fall. It similarly reminds me of summertimes back home in Zimbabwe, where it's just enough sun and enough breeze. And as I reminisce and think about growing up back home, I think about one of my fondest moments. I have 4 siblings. There's 5 of us, and my older brother and I grew up playing really close together as well. And one of the things we used to do back home in the yard, I remember we had a papaya tree. We called it mapopo, which is papaya. We had grapes, we had oranges, we had mango tree, guavas, we had maize growing in the background. And among everything else, we also had this tree that we enjoyed as well, which was a blackberry tree, but we called it my gooseberry for some reason or the other. But I remember, just to aggravate my mother, we used to go out there, especially when the blackberries were ripe, and you'd have the fallen ones on the ones that were overly ripe had gracefully fallen down. They were not bad. They were good for eating too. But my brother and I used to run around this yard just barefoot. I mean, barefoot as it gets. And then we'd have the audacity to want the fresh gooseberries from the tree. So we'd go running pitter patter right by the blackberry tree, and try to climb in and shake the leaves and all this stuff to get some more. And at the end of the day, the soles of our feet are just tainted in this non-washable black stuff, and go running back home and just have foot impressions in the house and everything like that. And that's just like, I mean, it's always interesting how one memory can lead to another memory. And as I thought about spring, and I thought about summer back home, and I thought about what we did and how we played everywhere around the yard back home in the summer. And I remember too, summertime brought us outside to where we would play games. One of the most interesting game we played with my cousins when they came to visit in the summertime was Nodo. And this game was one where you would dig up a nice size hole in the ground, get a whole bunch of stones, and then you pick a bigger stone than the ones you got. And the goal was to, whoever's turn it was, you would toss the bigger stone up and reach. As the bigger stone is up in midair, you want to reach into this man-made hole with other stones to see how many stones you would grab in your hand. And we would go in rounds just playing that game and being entertained. And I remember spell country, and you'd run and then stop, and then you'd spell a country and all this other funny stuff, all this other fun stuff, I should say. Really, I mean, when I think about it, there were a lot of innovative ways we kept ourselves busy. So my storytelling is over, and I just realized I was just babbling and reminiscing about growing up in Zim. Love you guys.